Hi there, everyone. Hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday, and it's almost here. That winter weather event that we've been talking about over the last several days on the horizon, barreling towards Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Let's get right to it because I've got a limited amount of time before the 9 o'clock news starts. I want to get to all the information that you want to know now and then answer as many questions as possible before we have to call it good because I have a show coming up at 9. So let's go ahead and get right to it. Let's get to the graphics and let's look at what's going on in our weather. So currently, watches and warnings, you can see there that we've got a ton of them. Some of them overlapping each other. There's so many of them, but let's go ahead and try to get as many as we can in here. Winter weather advisory in effect tomorrow, starting at 4 a.m., going until 6 o'clock. So about a 14-hour window of winter weather. If you go off that advisory, I do think the winter weather, at least in terms of the snow and the system, will be out of here before then, but we could still see some impacts until 6 o'clock. Taking a closer look here in Northwest Arkansas, we have a wind chill warning in effect starting at 4 o'clock tomorrow and going until 12 o'clock on Friday. So that's a much larger window than the winter weather advisory. And certainly the dangerous cold is still the top story in the River Valley. That's been downgraded to a wind chill advisory, but still very dangerous wind chills expected in the River Valley with this system that's moving through. And as we take a zoomed out look here, look at all of these advisories, warnings, and watches. You got winter storm warnings just to the northwest of our area. We've also got hard freeze warnings as far south as the Gulf of Mexico and Florida. And man, is this going to be an impactful system that's going to impact a lot of people across the United States. Taking a look at temperatures. How about this? How about this? So remember when the models a couple days ago were showing that it was going to be in the low to mid 40s in Fayetteville around this time? Yeah, that wasn't right. 29 degrees in Fayetteville now, which makes me wonder if we're even going to get above freezing again as the system pushes through. That's pretty wild. 29 degrees already, that's interesting because the models, even the short range models, didn't have it that cold yet. Now, I do think those temperatures will bump up just a little bit throughout the overnight hours tonight as those clouds increase again, as those southerly winds continue. But I don't think it's going to be quite as warm as what the models were showing earlier. So that's a little bit of an interesting trend there. Currently, the cold front is sagging to the south. It's a little bit further south now into central Kansas and Missouri, and it is pushing fast towards our area. We zoom in a little bit closer here behind that front. Very cold weather is beginning to progress towards our area. And all that precipitation is falling in the form of snow. And that's going to reach our area as we move into your Thursday during the day. So, taking a look at that 10-day Northwest Arkansas day planner, expect snow from about 6 a.m. to the 1 to 2 o'clock hour. And after that, I think this is going to be out of here. But these systems can throw a bit of a curveball at us. And certainly very interesting to see. Now, I was looking at those temperatures there. I'm interested to see what this shows. Okay, so you got middle to upper 30s in Benton County. That's kind of what I expected. 29 in Fayetteville, though, which is the cold spot. And then if we move down to the River Valley here, we're sitting in the lower 40s in Fort Smith, middle to upper 30s just south of there. So it's not like the entire area is well below freezing yet, but still cold, much colder than what the models were showing at this time. Upper 20s in Fayetteville and then mid to upper 30s in Bentonville and Tahlequah. Okay. So let's take a look at this dip in the jet stream here. So you can see that moving in. It's like a bucket spilling cold air into northwest Arkansas. That storm system ramps up to our northeast, and we are going to get some pretty good snow here, I think, with this system that's moving through. Look at that temperature drop, too, on that 2-day forecast timeline, all the way down to 0 degrees by 3, 4 o'clock tomorrow. That is crazy cold right there. And it's going to be in the below zero territory for quite a long stretch, almost 12 hours there. So definitely very, very cold weather. But I know everybody wants to know about the snow. So let's get right to it. Here's the timing for that. So we're going to stay a little bit above freezing as we move throughout the overnight hours tonight here in northwest Arkansas. Then about 5, 6 o'clock, that's when the cold weather really starts to set in. Snowfall will begin right around, I think, 5, 6 o'clock, maybe a snow sleet mixture, and then all snow after that as we head throughout the afternoon hours, blowing snow, a big time concern as we move into Friday, even because of all those winds. Now, I mentioned this yesterday. If we get a shot of drizzle out ahead of this system is going from, a pretty impactful one to a significant life threatening event if you travel. Here's the reason why. If we get drizzle and we get rain out ahead of that main line, that is going to freeze over almost instantly, called a flash freeze. And man, we are going to really be hurting here if that's the case, because that's also going to get the pre-treatment off the roads. So keep your fingers crossed we don't see any drizzle tonight, folks. That's the one thing you do not want right now. But here's the latest graph model. Shows that thin line of snow moving in right around 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Again, this will be starting off as a snow sleet mixture in northwest Arkansas. That's going to quickly change over to snow again, and this snow will expand in coverage as we move throughout the morning hours. Notice these little heavier bands of snow also showing up here. That's where those highest snowfall totals are going to be as we move into your Thursday afternoon. And then you see about 2 o'clock, that snow's already pushing up to northeast. It's a quick moving system. Thankfully it is, because otherwise this would be even more impactful than it already will be. Look at those winds though, 24 miles per hour. Telling you, 10 o'clock a.m. to about 2 o'clock p.m., you do not want to be on the roads. Then that system pushes out of the area, but those winds remain gusty and those temperatures remain well below zero. This model showing about 2 to 3 inches of snow generally in most locations. Little isolated bands maybe of higher amounts in northwest Arkansas. Then you look a little bit further south there, River Valley showing 1 to 2 inches. I don't know yet if that's going to happen. I think that's a little bit overdone, but the models are trending a little bit further south in terms of the extent of the snowfall. I still think, though, 2 to 3 inches is the most we're going to see with this system. If we get over 3 inches, I will be surprised. And if we get over 3 inches, I'm going to really be concerned about what's going on. But here's our latest snowfall forecast. You notice if you were in the Facebook Live yesterday, not much has changed about the 2 to 3 inch amounts. I did nudge a little bit further south towards the Fayetteville area. I think it's still more about 1 to 2 in Fayetteville, but I did nudge it a little bit further south. So there's that. But if you're in Benton County, you might be ground zero for this. If you're a little bit east towards the Harrison area, Boone County, you're also ground zero, I think, for this system. As you get further south, though, it becomes a lot less. It becomes a lot more uncertain. I did move that 1 to 2 inch amount a little bit further south, but again, I don't know if the River Valley is going to see too much. However, it's not going to take much for blowing snow to be a possibility. Anywhere in the blue, I believe blowing snow is very likely. If you're in the white, blowing snow also possible if we can get enough snow. In the River Valley, an isolated amount up to 1 inch cannot be ruled out. I want to look at this real quick too while we're at it. I want to look at the 4-panel snowfall accumulation and see what all these models are showing. So there's a graph which we just looked at, 2 to 3 inches of snow showing up in northwest Arkansas. European model, a little bit further south, so it's starting to get a little bit of a better idea about that track. GFS, 2 to 3 as well. Now, remember, the snowfall ratios are going to be about 15 to 1 plus. So considering that, these totals may be a little bit overdone when it comes to this amount of snow. Zach Woods, first question I saw, no dry line concerns tomorrow. We're not going to get dry lined because the track of the system is not going to be pushing into northwest Arkansas. So no dry line. What's going to limit the amount of snow is how fast the system moves out of here. Not every system has the system like this does not usually have a dry line. It's just how fast it's going to move out. Okay. So I wanted to just clarify that first before I moved on. 2 to 3 inches, though, showing up on all these models. But again, the snowfall ratios are going to affect that. Okay. If anybody has any questions, now's the time to ask them because I've only got a limited amount of time. I've got to get ready for the 9 o'clock show in about 15 minutes. The weather's leading off. So if you've got questions, please ask them now. Specific locations, I'll try. But it's, again, this is the general idea of what we got for your location. All righty. Let's see here. My body is screaming. The system means business. You know what, Melissa? I can relate to that as well with the system pushing into our area. Definitely can feel this one moving in here. Our sky scan clock reads 37 degrees in Springdale, which I believe. No, Drake doesn't need recalibration. It is actually 29 degrees. I checked the obs. Well, that's why I was pausing for a moment there because I was going to the observations. And it is a real temperature. It's not recalibrating. Drakefield tends to get colder than everywhere else a lot faster. In fact, I could tell you the exact temperature right now. It's 30 degrees, according to Drakefield's 5-minute obs. So that is a real observation and no recalibration needed. Let's see here. Gonna be a soup day tomorrow and a hot chocolate day. TJ, that's probably a good idea with what to do with this one. No, Nick, I'm not getting any sleep, and I haven't gotten sleep in a long time. And it's not gonna get better anytime soon, unfortunately. Where's Dan Josh? He's on vacation right now, Jeremy. He's on vacation. And well-deserved one at that. Ice and power outage outlook. I don't think there's going to be a significant amount of icing, Kathy. I don't know if there's going to be a significant amount of power outages. I will say, though, impacts are going to be pretty far-reaching. Fortunately, I think that the power outage concern will be down too because we won't have a lot of freezing rain. Yeah, Sarah, I think you should hunker down tomorrow. And if not because of the snow, because of how cold it is. That's one thing we know for certain. It's going to be extremely cold, dangerously cold, in fact, which to me is still the top story. Will the roads be okay heading from northwest Arkansas to central Arkansas early tomorrow morning around 4 a.m.? Yes, but make sure you leave by 4 a.m. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble. And this system's moving in pretty quick, too. So, yeah, just make sure you're being careful. That's for sure. Be very careful, but you should be fine. Uh, let's see here. Any thunder snow possible? I don't think so, Jacob. We're away from the main low. It's a little bit too far to the north. But certainly I could see some heavy bands of snow. That's for sure. If it's raining at 6 a.m., should we stay in? Yes. Well, I mean, if you don't have to drive tomorrow, I wouldn't do it after 7 o'clock because it's gonna get really dicey really quick because those temperatures are gonna fall off so fast, and any precipitation we do have is gonna instantly become a sheet of ice, almost instantly become a sheet of ice. No exaggeration there when I say that too. The flash freeze potential is really high. Will it be safe to drive at 6 a.m.? Again, um, I mean, again, I can't fully answer that question because the things could come in quicker, they can come in later. However, I'm going to say this: when you get to 6 a.m. tomorrow, things are going to start getting dicey no matter what, in my opinion, because we could have rain beforehand, and if it does rain, it's going to freeze instantly. So, will it be safe to drive at 6 a.m.? I mean, probably not. I would say I would lean towards probably not. I just lean on the safer side when it comes to things. I would say you should, if you need to get anywhere, leave before 6 a.m. tomorrow. When do you think the main highways will become slick? Past 6 a.m. tomorrow, I think. Thankfully, my employer advisor can work from home. That's very good to hear, and that's a good employer too. That's a very smart decision. Keep your pets nice and warm in the house with blankets. Please bring those pets in now. Even if they are outdoor dogs, outdoor cats, you got to bring them in because this is dangerous. This is life threatening. If you got farm animals, bring them in as well. Not into your house, obviously, but bring them into a protected area because this is life threatening cold for your pets and your animals as well. When should we expect the heaviest? About 9 a.m. to noon, I think, Lisa, maybe a little bit after as well. Road's going to be okay for Friday, says Seth. I don't know. I don't think so. And here's the reason why. I think the roads won't be okay on Friday because the winds are still going to be blowing at about 20 to 30 miles per hour. Anything that's been plowed out of the way is going to just blow back onto the roads again. Um, Not Friday morning for sure. Friday afternoon, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Friday night, yeah, probably. But Friday morning, no bueno. No bueno. There is quite a few cancellations, Mark. If you go to northwestarkansashomepage.com, I'm going to put this in the chat right now. You can go to this website and see the latest closings. As a matter of fact, what I'll do is I'll give you the link straight to the closings, and I'll put it in the chat for you. So hold on just a minute. I'm going to do that real quick, and then I'll continue here. But I'm going to put you a link straight to where the closings are. And I'll post that in the chat. It's in right now, and you can copy that link, and you can go to that link and find out the latest closings. All right. Let's see here. Nice. That's very smart, Sarah. Very, very smart doing that. On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad do you think the roads will be tomorrow evening coming from central Arkansas? It's going to get worse the farther north you get. McKenna, I would say about an 8 to 9. to be honest. If what we think is going to happen happens, 8 to 9. When do you think the snow will stop? I have a flight at 4:25 p.m. at XNA. What do you think? Tomorrow? If it's tomorrow, I don't know if that's going to potentially happen. I don't know. See, here's the thing. I don't know how the process works with flights, to be honest, but visibilities are going to be dicey with the blowing snow potential. So, I think the snow will be done by then. To answer your question, Benny, the blowing snow will not be over with. So, yeah. Let's see here. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to find some more questions here. Kind of heard severe weather chances may be coming by the end of the month. Is that true? Potentially, Charles, with how warm we're going to get once again by the mid to late part of next week. It's up in the air, though, if we see any systems, but there is some indication that we may get another system moved through before the new year. So certainly I'm going to keep an eye on that. How much winter weather should we expect? Winter weather, how about this? Here's the map right here. You can see how much snow, right? But with the blowing snow that we could potentially get, things could get pretty dicey in a hurry. That is for sure. Yeah, I'm very thankful schools are not in session as well. That's a silver lining there. Absolutely. Josh, thanks for getting us the important info. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Absolutely. Let's see here. Will Farmington get several inches of snow? Not several inches, but a few inches, Tom. But a few inches too many, because that's going to cause some major problems here in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Let's see. Here's the thing, Sally. Yes, the totals are not that high, but I can't stretch this enough. I mean, this is a system that can definitely impact things. Because if even though it's only 1 to 3 inches of snow in most locations, with how windy it is, with how cold it is, with how much it's going to blow around, these things can really get out of hand in a hurry. And with the flash freeze potential, that's even worse. So, yeah, the snowfall totals aren't that impressive. But think about this. We average about 7 to 8 inches of snow a year, and that's almost half of it right there. So this is a significant system. This is absolutely a significant system. And it's borderline blizzard conditions, really, when you think about it. Well, we'll see, Josh. We'll see. We'll see. That would obviously cause more problems. I don't think roads will be too bad. Yeah, they'll be bad. They'll be bad. And in fact, at times they could be extremely dangerous. Not only are we going to have the flash freeze potential, but we'll have the potential for some sleet, some freezing rain out ahead of the main line. These roads are going to be bad, folks. Do not, if you must drive, make sure you're taking it very, very slow. Near whiteout conditions possible from 10 a.m. to 12 o'clock, I think. This is a very impactful system that you do not want to get stranded out in either. Because normally a lot of the times we've got temperatures that are right around freezing, right? 31, 32 degrees when we got these snowfalls. So if you get stranded, it's not too bad because you can get, the temperatures aren't dangerous. Temperatures are going to be deadly. You don't want to get stranded in these temperatures. You don't want to be out on there on the road. Can't stress this enough. Do not go too fast tomorrow if you have to go to someplace. And if you do, take it really easy. Pack an emergency kit just in case, because the roads will be bad. The roads will be bad tomorrow if we get this amount of snow right here and we get the temperatures that we're going to see. Okay. I'm just looking through some more questions here. I know some of you want to know about specific locations. It's a little bit more difficult to do that. That's why I've got this map up right here so you can see your area and see what you got there. Hold on here. Do you think the roads will still be dangerous on Friday? Friday morning, yes. But Friday afternoon, I think we'll be all good, to be honest, here in Northwest Arkansas. If anybody gets rain beforehand, it's going to be bad. That's a great point, Joshua. That is, I'm watching that very closely tonight. And to be honest, I'm not going to sleep well tonight. I haven't slept well really the last few nights. I'm going to be honest with you. But yes, this rain, if we get rain out of the system, my goodness, is this going to get bad really fast. The flash freeze potential is going to go really up. And that's not good because that just adds more problems. That's a sheet of ice on the roadways. And that gets rid of the pre-treatment too. So keep your fingers crossed that we do not get any rain before this system. I can't stress that enough. Let's see here, folks. I'm just trying to look here. Daniel, you're right, but like, here's the thing. We've never had a blizzard in Northwest Arkansas. Never. Not a single time in climatology has our Northwest Arkansas been under a blizzard warning or have had a blizzard. It's hard to believe, but it's true. Now, are we going to see a blizzard with this system? No, because blizzard criteria is sustained winds at 35 miles per hour greater with blowing snow and visibility is reduced to a quarter of a mile for that period of time. That won't happen. However, we could have near blizzard conditions that are similar to a blizzard because the winds could gust at times over 45 miles per hour. And if you're driving out in that, that's bad. That is really bad. So I cannot stress enough that maybe this is not the worst system that we've ever had in Northwest Arkansas. Certainly not as bad as 2011 and that snowstorm. Here in Northwest Arkansas, don't mess with it. I'm just saying that right now. I see so many people underplaying this. Don't underplay it. Don't do it because this can impact your life. If not the snow, the cold will. Just hopping on, can you give specific guidelines and dripping faucets? I do have a graphic for that, by the way. Stand by here. Remember the 4 Ps, folks. We've talked about the 4 Ps before. I'm going to move your comment out of the way, but great comment and great reminder. Plants, pipes, pets, and people, folks. Bring in those plants. Bring in those pets. Don't want your fur babies to be outside in this mess. Hopefully, you've insulated your pipes already. Keep those faucets dripping. Little drip throughout the entire household. And also remember to check in on your neighbors. Check in on your neighbors that may be a little bit older. Make sure everything's going okay with them. Thank you, Kaylee. Make sure that things are okay. Make sure the heat's working all right. And make sure you got a backup plan as well. Just look out for your neighbors. But again, plants, pipes, pets, and people, the 4 Ps of cold weather. And this is certainly an impactful and dangerous cold blast that we're going to see here in Northwest Arkansas. Here's a good question. Should you drip the outdoor hose faucets? No, because those will freeze, right? You drip it and it's going to just become like a solid sheet of ice. Don't drip the outdoor hose faucet just inside the house. But great question, by the way. Great question. Josh, you're very smart. Just don't drive in it. Exactly. I mean, that's the smartest thing you can do with a system like this. Don't drive in it while things are going on. There's no need to do it. You don't have a point to prove. Right now, if you must get out in it, take the proper precautions. Make that emergency kit, water, flashlights, batteries. Maybe a way or somebody knows where you are so they can come get you if possible. But just make sure you've got a backup plan in place if you must drive. Let's see. Yep. So many people have moving into the area who have never drove Northwest Arkansas in bad weather, stay up the hills. And that's the thing too, Scott. That's a great point because, I know there's some people who've moved here probably from the north and say, listen, maybe this is not as bad as what you've seen in Minnesota or Wisconsin or Michigan or North. But that's because the resources are a lot better in those areas than they are here in Northwest Arkansas because we're not used to this kind of weather here. So, yes, just make sure you're taking it easy out there, especially with the threat of rain beforehand that can, wipe away the roads. I just can't stress enough. Be careful on the roads, folks. It's not worth it to drive crazy out there and have a point to prove. There's no point to prove. If you must travel, take it nice and easy. Mike, you got any last second questions?
Oh, well, I
before-
wouldn't want to repeat, but okay, so this is an early morning temperature drop.
Yep.
What's the latest that I'll want to go walk Alan the Giant Schnauzer tomorrow?
The latest
Yeah,
before the cold comes.
Right, yeah.
Alan the Giant Schnauzer needs
Yeah.
to be walked before 4:30 a.m.
Before 4:30 a.m.
Yes, because that front is.
You think I'm going to be up by then?
Heck yeah!
Oh,
After we
my
play some
God.
Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
okay. Well, that's true. That's true. Maybe we just keep playing until then, and then I'll walk him and then go.
Yeah, I wish I could do that. I may only be down for a few games tonight.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Jim.
Absolutely. Good question, by the way. Good question.
Thank you.
Okay. All righty, folks. I'm going to have to go ahead and head on out. Thank you guys so much for coming into the Facebook Lives over the last few days. Again, expecting significant winter weather impacts with this system. Make sure you take it easy. Rusty, good idea. I'll send you guys off with the snowfall accumulations that we're forecasting right now. And then I'll go ahead and end this Facebook Lives. But again, 4 Ps, pets, pipes, people's plants, and make sure that you guys stay safe tomorrow. Zach Gilday will have the latest coming up on the news this morning. I'll also have some more coming up on the news at 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock, which starts in 2 minutes. And I'll be here tomorrow as well with the latest updates on the cold weather that we're dealing with. But stay safe, everybody, and have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday night.